few lines?
Yes, sir. Please, please.
Please, Mr. Khoda, sir.
Just adding to what Mr. Jandial has mentioned, we have to work on it. We don't have to give it up, whatever the situation is. One of the points which the Professor Saab brought out is separation of Kashmir and Jammu. This has been an idea which has been floating for a long time from many people. And it has been gone into very deeply. It is only going to compound the problem. It is not going to resolve the problem. That will drive away Kashmir further away from us. And it will be a big setback on the management of Kashmir. And also beyond psychologically, also, it's going to drive away Kashmiris from rest of India. But otherwise also, it is going to give an impression at the international level that India has given up Kashmir. And it's not one of the ideas which I think we should not even think of. The other point which Mr. Jandial has brought out, I'd like to carry it further, that we need to work on it. And a few issues which emerged early in the militancy, that's winning hearts and minds of Kashmiris. I mean, that's of course in the present context and present situation, and the youth, as Mr. Bakaya brought out, they have grown up in a very hostile atmosphere. They have seen guns and forces only all over and killings. It is very difficult to work on it at this stage, but we can go about in a very methodical manner. The first stage is of the management, how to manage the situation. And the second step, of course, will be after we manage the situation well. The second step, of course, can be winning hearts and minds, or winning the minds at least, if not the hearts. The management will involve working seriously on few issues, that is working on the youth, as was brought out by Mr. Bakaya and others also. The governance has to be credible governance, a transparent governance, where people feel, yes, the government is for us, not for anybody else. It's for the people's good. Right now, the credibility level of governance is very low. Every government, whether it's political government or directly the central government ruling through governor or lieutenant governor, the credibility level is very low. So we have to build that credibility by giving an effective governance which translates into effective development on ground, whereby people get benefited. The economic benefits are one of the most important benefits. When we talk about, somebody talked about the Article 370 might probably tempt others from outside the state to come and settle down the state. It is not that easy. If that was the case, then states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala would have been all flooded by people from UP, and the character of demography of those places would have changed, because there was nothing like Article 370 in those states right from 1947. The economic interest, the language and culture, these are the three prime factors which drive any population to move from one place to another place. It's not just for the sake of holding a piece of land somewhere in Jammu or Kashmir that people will come and settle here. That's not going to happen. Demography is not going to change. If any demographic change was there, that was in 1990, that we all know how it happened. It was under fear of gun. It was not because of any other thing. But that apart, we need to work on working on people, working on youth, employment, how to generate private sector, which I mentioned in the initial phase, how to develop vested interest among the youth in rest of the country. The vested interest will be when they feel, mentally at least, that we are much better off with India than being independent or with Pakistan. Once that feeling sinks in clearly and without any doubt, I think we have won half the battle. Then we can follow it up. We cannot, give up the case as a gone case or not work on it. And Mr. Jandial has also very pointedly brought out, how do we establish credibility? I mean, if you have none of the advisors from the Kashmiris, from local people, especially Kashmiri Muslims, I mean, the credibility is gone. Credibility is not there.
May I ask a question to Mr. Kuda?
Yes.
Just a minute.
Okay, sir. Please, sir. Go ahead, sir. A quick one, sir, because we are short of time, sir.
Yes, just half a minute. I entirely agree with Mr. Kuda, the ex-DG, because he must be privy to many things which I am not. But I like to have one clarification from him, which I know from almost primary sources, that in 1990, when the state was brought under the president rule or the governor's rule at that time, and Jagmohan was sent. I was told that it was done because the entire information, the local intelligence, the intelligence had completely stopped. And the government of India was at its, whatever you may call the words, that they did not know what is going to happen. There was complete blockage of information. That led to the governor's rule and dismissal of the Farooq Abdullah government. Can Mr. Kuda?
Yes, you are asking me to say something which, of course, which I would have hesitated to comment upon during my service, but I am glad that you asked this question. I can probably bring it out just for the sake of the panelists knowing about it.
Right.
So as General Sharma mentioned about the militancy started not in 1990, it started in 1984.
I know.
I was SSP Poonch that time from 1984 to late 1986 for 2.5 years. We seized huge amount of arms and ammunition, which was coming directly from Pakistan, and they are still recovered and with us. Nobody lent, it was not taken seriously. But that apart, in Valley in 1987, when first AK-47, it was a new, close quarter battle weapon, which was not heard of till that time. It was something new. Nobody knew what is AK, what does it actually mean. It was seized by SSP Kupwara, Mr. Amin Shah, he was there. He arrested the people, he interrogated the people. The entire Operation Topak plan got revealed by those suspects. There were, I think, 3 suspects who were, so not suspects, but they were involved in it. They had infiltrated along the arms. They revealed the entire plan. He sent out a detailed note. It was forwarded by the DIG to the DG. And Mr. Jilani Pandit was the DG. He trashed it. He said it is a fiction. It's not true. I don't know the reasons why he did it. The government of India, I don't blame Mr. Rajiv Gandhi for that, but probably he was new to politics. He didn't know much of it. How how a prime minister of a big and great country should take note of the things. Even the IB also cautioned. I mean, it's off the record, but it's on papers, on the classified papers. The Intelligence Bureau alerted Government of India, but it was not taken seriously. The then Chief Minister also here didn't take it seriously. It was all not acted upon till the catastrophe came in the form of huge infiltration in 1990 and locally trained people. Even our boys had gone to Pakistan in 1985 for training.
Right.
The first group. And then they came back.
I'm aware of it.
And the first incident, of militancy, where a person got killed, happened at the residence, outside the residence of the then DIG Srinagar, Mr. A.M. Vatali. And the terrorist was killed there. And the Indian Express, the media is also playing a dirty role that time also and now also. I mean, they to stay relevant and to get the TRP, they float all sorts of stories. The stories were floating in it, but primarily in Indian Express, that the person who was killed, he was not a terrorist. The gun was, AK-47 was planted on him. He had some sort of, link with the family members of the DIG, which was all trash and absurd. And the DIG, he was the DIG on spot. He was functional DIG of their area. He was not believed. I mean, nobody told him on his face that we don't believe you, but it was the action and approach was such that it conveyed to him that we don't believe you.
Please like and subscribe.